This is my part 2 continuation of 2024 of all of this that happened. I went to jail in Salt Lake City in 2024, had 2 months in psychiatric care, a delusion about Ariana Grande, was in hospitalization for 2 months under the BC Mental Health Act for my own good, and ultimately taking control of my life at the end of 2024. Here's some photos to tell the story. June 2024 is what I looked like the first day of Boots and Boats Festival that my buddy Chris Buck runs at Turtle Bay every year in the Okanagan. Look it up. Guys, I was drinking alcohol excessively every day, consuming nicotine, experimenting with cocaine, using the stimulant armodafinil, all at different rates. But my body, you can see, it's not what it is now. There's not muscle in that thing. I did video and drone work for Chris's Boots and Boats, but I was microdosing MDMA, drinking alcohol. That bit me. I was not regulating my intake of these things, and that was the problem. Moderation is something that must be built. So this is fireworks for the week that I talk about in part 1. I don't have any photos of when I was in Salt Lake City when I had my cocaine armodafinil overstimulation event, but this is a sweater that I was wearing that I ultimately took off and lost before the cops apprehended me. What happened there was I won tickets to VCon, and then the God events happened with the weather in Calgary that redirected my flight to the next day. And then August 9th or 8th, 2024, I had cocaine and also armodafinil in the morning and during the flight. And by the time I hit Salt Lake City, I had this overstimulation event where my mind was believing and seeing and perceiving in real life like I'm in the Matrix. The universe is Ready Player One. And that resulted in the cops getting called on me. I had ran on a car due to the overstimulation event. Then they took me to the hospital, brought me down. I got released middle of the night. Next day, when I'm boarding the flight to get to Los Angeles, I get arrested, taken to jail for the damage of property under $5,000. When I got out of jail, I flew back to Calgary, and during August into September, I rose into a state of mania, and then this resulted in my parents getting called by my roommates. I had not paid my September rent. I was AWOL for a few days, didn't come back to the apartment. When I did, I was just like covered in dirt and filth because I'd been walking around on the streets believing that I'm in the Matrix and I'm escaping. A lot to unpack there, but I won't in this video. So my roommates called my parents, and then my parents came, took me to Vernon, and I got psychiatric evaluation. Then my psychiatrist put me under the BC Mental Health Act, and I ended up in psychiatric care. Like the first day I'm in there, September 27th, this is a bunker door that was on the room that I was in. The delusion about Ariana Grande that I had start occurring during my walking around on the streets listening to her music had continued while I'm in psychiatric care. And what I mean by that delusion, during psychosis, you can have an experience where the TV or music or everything is communicating to you directly. And my mind had conceived that like Ariana Grande and I are soulmates in a higher astral or soul dimension. So that continued and persisted even into when I was in the psych ward. These are pictures of the room I was in. I was in that one for about a week. This is a nicotine replacement because they didn't allow you to vape inside of the unit. 2 weeks in, I skipped the dishes and ordered all of this healthy food from Superstore because I was figuring I got to get my body in high vibration. I was figuring, okay, I need to keep healthy things in my body so that I can maintain this elevated state of mind. This is the hospital entertainment room. Just me in the psych ward. Along with the delusion that Ariana Grande was my love, meant to be soulmate. There was this Instagram direct message that came in with credentials to log into this website. When I logged in, then it said that I had like $4 million in USDT, which is a cryptocurrency tether. Due to the delusion, I believed that this was real. So at the same time, while I was in the psych ward, I had this mental belief that I was a millionaire. Due to that belief, I was quite in an elated state every single day. I started aripiprazole, which was a antipsychotic I took. The name of it, aripiprazole, really played into that Ariana Grande delusion, but my psychiatrist had no idea of that going on. With all of the beliefs that were going on in my mind, you can see I was just really high on myself and life. I had these glasses that I bought at the store because I believed I needed to shelter my eyes so nobody could see into them, due to that saying, the eyes are the windows into the soul. You can see how much weight I don't have on my body. And I was fully believing like, yo, I am a massive worldwide pop star already. I just simply think it in order to believe it, in order to make it happen. Law of attraction kind of belief system. The state of mind that I was in was without any stops, right? Like, which is what caused the danger of it. It's crazy going through my camera roll. This is like October, just obsession with Ariana Grande, believing that like there were days where I would go out with the group, but I would think that, oh, this is the moment it's going to happen where everything around me changes like a movie set, or a live stage set, and finally everything is revealed around me, that like I was imagining this kind of thing would happen and we would ultimately meet. So that's a little bit of epic world delusion to unpack for you. These are just a few of the outlooks or beliefs I had that I'm unpacking for you. This was a piece of art I drew. What this signified was like my being in a higher dimension. So I imagined that when we go to sleep, this is actually what we are, a brain inside of a floating sort of whatever it is underneath levitating something, and that's what our actual essence is. Something pretty funny that happened is Neo Tokyo, the Alex Becker Illuminati of crypto gaming, was doing this other competition, and I've studied a little bit of JavaScript and CSS and HTML at that point. I was able to win one of these Whisper badges, an NFT for it, non-fungible token. I found that pretty funny. Even though I'm in a state of mania, like we got something cool. This is my parents that came to visit me. By November 2024, I was experiencing side effects from the aripiprazole: nosebleeds, dry skin, restless insomnia. That led me to wanting to document it through songs. So I was putting out that I'm gonna make a music album called Side Effects, but with mania, there is very little structure or realisticness to timelines. So I was like, I'm gonna put this out by December. Thankfully, I did begin coming down out of that state of mind by December. I was put in a halfway house instead of just being at the hospital, so I had a little more freedom where I could go to my parents for a few hours at night, and I would take photos of myself as pop star Epicworld. This is what my body mass looked like about 2 months into it, November. This is not healthy. Although I'm super high on myself from the mania, and I think, yo, I'm shredded. Looking back on it, this is pretty sad for my muscle mass. I stopped taking medication 50 days in. My friends asked me to film their music video in Edmonton, so they flew me out. That was quite intense because they didn't know I just came out of the psych ward and I'm under the Mental Health Act. What I noticed during that filming was there was quite a lot of cognitive struggle. I didn't know how to identify it at that time, but it was just the resettling after having the antipsychotic medication run. Music video turned out pretty awesome. And then to conclude 2024, I started thinking about going sober in 2025.